Closing 10K deals like clockwork is the key to scaling your business. In this video, we're covering how premium high ticket pricing is the key to scaling a lean coaching business to 30K months and beyond in 2025. See, if you have a high ticket premium price like 7.5K or more, it's only a handful of sales to do these 30K months. But what I see so often is that coaches struggle on sales calls, so they keep their pricing at this like 2.5K. If we look at the cost of a simple product like a stack of eggs, right? 12 eggs has gone up 246% in the time between 2017 and 2025. The cost of gold has gone up 141%. The cost of rent, the cost of everything has increased dramatically. And it needs to be the same for your high ticket pricing. You can't be stuck in the 2010s still charging 2.5K. And then further, right, look at the difference this makes. With a 7.5K price point, it's just 4 sales a month. Further, when we factor in that the average closing rate in high ticket coaching is about 10%, right, that would mean that you need to close 12 people, right? With a 10% closing rate, that's 120 people you need to pitch. Okay, and as a one-man team with a small audience, if you're not running ads, etc., it's going to be very difficult to get, 4 or 5 calls booked every single day of the week. Okay, this is virtually impossible. So these two elements here are the most common pitfalls that people face. It's the most common mistakes I see coaches make, and it keeps them stuck. Forget about 10K, this keeps them stuck below 5K a month, right? Because if you've got a 10% closing rate and you're closing for a 2.5K offer, right, the maths don't stack up. So what we want to get you doing instead is closing 70% of the people that you pitch, and this would be on a 5K price point at a minimum, right? And a lot of clients of mine, as you're about to see, they charge a whole lot more than that, right? Here is Stephen with a 5K, that's his first ever high ticket sale. There's Anton, 6K, 12 weeks, okay, 4.2K, 6K, right? And it goes on and on. There's literally a whole Google Drive of these proof screenshots, okay? So at a minimum, 5K and 70% closing rate, that's the standard we want to shoot for. So understand that if you're trying to scale your business to 10, 15, 30K months and beyond, right, having that premium high ticket price point is going to be essential, okay? The maths just make sense here, okay? And then further, you got to really do everything in your power to achieve this high closing rate, which again, the average for clients of mine is 70% on offers higher than 5K. Okay, so now we understand why it's important to charge the premium pricing as well as keeping our closing rate high. How is it you can go about doing that? Because you might say, well, surely it's easier to close people for 2.5K than it is for 7.5. And the truth there is not really. Okay, so imagine if you're a health coach, if you're a relationship coach, a marriage coach, a coach for fathers, if you help fathers, right, get out of negative habits and show up as the best leader for their family and the best father for their son possible, if you're marketing that to people who already have wealth handled, right? So if you're marketing this to people who make 200, 300, 400 grand a year, right? What would they not pay to be a positive influence on their son? Right? What would they not pay for their son to grow up confident and powerful? The thing there is, right, if you're marketing to the correct audience, right, your price points, it's not really a factor, right? What you really got to do is make sure that you're solving $1 million problem for people who actually have the resources. Because if we think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this is one of the most common mistakes that I see people make, is that they're ultimately selling self-actualization or esteem or love and belonging to people who do not have their safety needs met, people who do not have their physiological needs met. And if a person is struggling to pay rent or make their mortgage, there's not a chance in hell they're going to be able to invest 7.5K for self-actualization, nor 2.5K. So one of the most common mistakes that people make, right, is that they're marketing to broke people. Okay, these are the common pitfalls, right? You want to make sure that you're not marketing to broke people. Okay, so if you're marketing to people that do have their finances sorted, right, and you're solving $1 million problem, like helping them in their relationships, avoid breakups, avoid divorce, helping them be the best father, right? If they've got the wealth situation handled, right, there's pretty much nothing that they wouldn't pay to solve this problem within reason. Once you do this, once you ensure that you're targeting the right audience, right, and you're also solving $1 million problem, all you've now got to do is build so much certainty in the prospect that getting the yes, making the commitment is just a fuck yeah. It's a no-brainer, right? And how you do that is getting crystal clear on the sales call. Get the prospect to map out where they are currently. What's their current pain island, so to speak, right? And where is it they're trying to get to? And what you want to make sure you're doing is not trying to sell your coaching program, but you're selling this transformation. And then, and only then, are you building certainty about how your solution can get him to his goal. Ultimately, that's what high ticket sales is all about. But what you've got to understand is that you could be an absolute wizard at objection handling. You could run our sales process, the sales process that I run on calls and that clients run, right? You could do this and you could be shit hot at sales. But ultimately, if you're selling a high ticket offer to people that are broke, they're just not going to be able to do it. So we want to craft your messaging in a way. We want to position you in a way, and we want to craft your offer in a way that it's only going to appeal to those people who already have the wealth handled, right? And as a result, if you do that, you just get these people onto a call, right? I'm going to put a link down below this video where you can get our exact DM scripts so you can get calls booked as well. But you get these people onto calls, you make sure they have the finances, we have the systems for that as well. You build certainty, and then you get the yes. Right? See, sales is all about this, right? It's all about building so much certainty that the commitment becomes a no-brainer. And the bigger that commitment is, right, the more certainty you have to build. And the reason you might be facing objections like, oh, that's a lot of money, or, right, I'm gonna have to speak with my partner, or yeah, I wanna do it, but just give me some time to think about it, or let's start next month, or give me the weekend. All of these are classic certainty-based objections. So our goal in the sales process and in the marketing process is twofold. One, of course, we want to get calls booked in the calendar. We want to get those calls booked with the right type of buyer, people who have the financial resources. Secondly, on the call itself, we're going to qualify them and make sure that they really, really do have the money coming in every month to afford this kind of expense. And then once we get clarity on that, we set about building this 10 out of 10 red hot certainty so it becomes a no-brainer, and they really see the value. They see that we are helping them solve $1 million problem. So my friend, the takeaway lessons in this video is one, market to people who actually have the resources. One of the worst mistakes you can make in business and in marketing is trying to sell a high ticket service to people who just don't have the resources. So our solutions to that is dialing in your messaging in a way that it's going to appeal to those most affluent buyers. Secondly, we want to implement the systems to qualify those buyers in the messaging, the DM process, as well as on the sales call. Then we got to make sure that you've got this 5 or 7K plus price point, and we combine that with the sales system to unlock this 70% closing rate. So my offer to you is to get onto a free one-to-one scaling blueprint call with me. You'll find the link below. On that call, we're going to look at your offer, your messaging, and your positioning. We're going to look at how to refine all of that so that we appeal to these most affluent buyers. We're going to create your sales and lead generation process to start getting those people on calls with you. And like we talked about, if you've got a 7.5K price point and you've got a 70% closing rate, it's just a handful of calls. It's like 10 or 15 calls a month to scale your business. By going down below and booking in that call, not only am I going to give you a personalized, tailored battle plan to get you to your goals, further, I'm going to send you over a free resource and training that covers the exact lead generation strategies that you can start implementing right away to get these qualified calls in your calendar. So go down below, book that call in with me where we're going to refine everything to do with your messaging, your positioning, your offer, as well as your sales process. But I'm also going to send you this free resource to start getting calls booked with the right kind of prospects right away. So go down below, book that call, and I'll see you soon. Peace.